15 News. This is breaking news.
We begin with breaking news just into our newsroom within the last half hour. The Chicago man who admitted to fatally shooting 7 people and hurting dozens more during a 4th of July parade was sentenced this morning to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Robert Crimo III pleaded guilty to the 2022 shooting. And after that shooting just outside of Chicago, Crimo then traveled to the Madison area where he allegedly considered carrying out another attack. Crimo refused to attend his sentencing hearing yesterday. And today, despite a judge's warning that the case would move forward without him, he also declined to give a written statement in court ahead of sentencing.